I rise today in strong support of SB 2. This bill speaks directly to who we are as Californians, as Americans, and as human beings. It calls upon our sense of community, our shared values, and our collective responsibility to one another. This bill will provide essential community-based resources to continue to provide legal support, strengthen worker protections, and increase access to critical service for our hardworking immigrant families. These resources are crucial to alleviating the fear and the anxiety caused by the administration's aggressive immigration actions, which have left many hardworking families on edge, even families like mine. As a daughter of immigrant farm workers who came to this country also undocumented, just like many of the immigrant families in my district and across the state, I cannot sit idly by. I will not stand by and watch the current administration and radicals on the right demonize, criminalize, and target our hardworking immigrant families. This is personal for me. And it's personal for countless of others that live in my district. Also, as a person of faith, I feel a moral imperative to stand up for our immigrant families, to ensure that we do everything in our power to protect the hardworking individuals who continue to make California an economic powerhouse. But if you're not moved by the moral imperative, then listen to our agricultural leaders and the economists who are sounding the alarm. They warn that if these raids continue or escalate, which we know they will, California's agricultural sector will face disruption unlike anything we've seen in decades, resulting in a rise in grocery prices across our country. And let's not forget, these are the very same grocery prices that many of those across the aisle promised to lower during this last election cycle. As the Ag Chair, let me remind you, California is the breadbasket of America. Our fields, orchards, and vineyards feed millions across the country and around the world. But behind every harvest, behind every meal on our tables are the hands of our immigrant laborers, just like my parents, who have spent years, even decades, contributing to our economy, raising families, and strengthening our communities. These individuals are not criminals. They are our neighbors, our co-workers, our relatives, and in many cases, the backbone of industries that keep California working. Without immigrant workers, our food supply chains would collapse. Studies have shown that mass deportations result in labor shortages, abandoned fields, and skyrocketing costs, driving food prices up for every American family. I ask you, who will pick our fruits and vegetables? Who will clean our homes? Who will build the housing units we so desperately need? Who will care for our children? Who will prepare our meals when we show up to our local restaurants? Who will help rebuild Southern California? The administration supposedly said their mass deportation agenda is solely focused on targeting dangerous criminals. But that is not what I'm hearing from my constituents. And it's certainly not what we're seeing in the news. I don't know if you guys have been watching the news or even social media, but immigration agents are terrorizing our communities.
30 seconds.
Documented or not. So I want to make sure that you all know that my vote today is for our immigrant families, not just in my district, but across California that are living in fear. Today, with my vote, I choose to send a message to my 11-year-old cousin that I, along with dozens of California leaders, will do everything in our power so he can focus on his education and not have fear being separated from his hardworking father, my uncle. Today, with my vote, I choose to send a message to Monica from Madera, who's a community leader that dedicates countless hours to ensure our most vulnerable in Madera have food on their table by setting up regular food distribution. So today, colleagues, I ask you to be brave. I ask you to stand up for California, because that is what I'm about to do today, and I urge your strong I vote.